You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle. You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle.
Welcome to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, the provost here at the college, and this morning we're going to talk to Ray Benefield. Mr. Benefield is the truck driving lead instructor program chair at the college, and he is going to tell us all about truck driving and give us some good reasons why you need to consider this as your next career move. Welcome to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford. I'm the provost at West Georgia Technical College here in LaGrange. And this morning we have Ray Benefield as our guest. Ray is the program chair for the truck driving program, and that's over LaGrange, Carrollton, Douglasville, Coweta, as well as Waco. Do we have any truck drivers that come all the way from Waco?
Well, we don't have a program there, but we do have students that come out of Waco, Harrison County to our program in Carrollton.
Okay, so Ray has a big job. Ray is over, I guess, all the counties in the service area, and you kind of, I guess, coordinate the truck driving program. Would that be a true statement?
That's what I do.
So before we get started, I always like to do this. Tell the folks a little bit about Ray Benefield, what your background is, what you've done in the past, how all of that has led up to you finding yourself at West Georgia Technical College and over the truck driving program. So tell us a little bit about Ray.
Well, I have approximately about 35 years in the transportation industry as a driver in the inception, in safety departments and regulation. I worked mainly with Ryder Logistics, Ryder Transportation, and I started training with Ryder back in the early 90s and did their logistical training out of Doraville. And at the time I lived way out in Douglas County, so that's about 80 mile a day trip commute. So I happened to be in LaGrange fishing. And how I really got this job is I ran up on one of the former presidents of Walmart one day. And we got to talking over a fishing story, found out he was president of the college, and I was a truck driver, and he advised me that there was a listing for a truck driver instructor position for the newly formed truck driving program of LaGrange, commercial truck driving program. And I pretty much left it at that. About a month later, this was in January, in March, I applied for the job. And of course, after that, you sat on an interview committee. Mm-hmm. You know how it went from there. And I started in 01 with West Georgia Technical College and started the program up. And since then, that's where I've been. Been here, of course, through our merge, and we've added Carrollton, Coweta, and our sister campuses on this thing, and I've just been a truck driver. My father's a truck driver. He was 60 years in the truck driving industry. My grandfather drove for about 20 years, so it's just a legacy.
Wow, so you know a little bit about truck driving, to say the least.
Well, I know a little.
And that's one of the neat things about technical education is that our instructors not only can pick up the book and they can go through the book and discuss the concepts and the strategies involved to get stuff from point A to point B and follow all the legalities of truck driving, but they not only have book knowledge, this is by our instructors here, but they also have real world skills that you've actually done the job, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir. I have a lot of years over the road experience, and majority of my time was spent in local regional delivery. I've driven to California, I've driven to Washington State, I've done the Alcan Highway to Alaska twice, and Wisconsin, New York, New Jersey, Texas, but a good bit of my experience was in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and local delivery. But all of our instructors that work in our program have either been over the road, local drivers, or they have a myriad of years of experience in all forms. So we bring a lot to the table. We try to, when we talk to the folks and train them, we're not just teaching a book. Right. We're teaching life experience, and it seems to work. We graduated probably 1,500 truck drivers out of LaGrange, out of just the LaGrange College, and the Carroll campus is probably that many or more. You know, they were founded in the early '90s, so they're a lot older than we are. But we've been real successful on LaGrange, and all the programs are really successful as far as students go. Our students are well trained and really sought after as far as being recruited. We have a lot of recruitment efforts by major trucking companies that come to us. We don't go to them. They come to us and take the time to sit down and explain their company, their programs, their benefits, and why our students should come to them. Our people are sought after.
Okay, boy, you have segued into exactly where I want to go. At West Georgia Technical College, we are an economic development tool. That simply means that for the folks out there watching this program, that you need to come to West Georgia Technical College. We're teaching you skill sets that will lead to gainful employment. So if you're out there unemployed, and sadly in Troup County, I know there's a lot of folks unemployed. I read the newspaper. So if you're one of those folks in Troup County who's unemployed, goodness sake, call us at West Georgia Tech, 706-845-4323, or you can always get us on the web, www.westgatech.edu. So that's www.westgatech, westgatech.edu. We have jobs available in Troup County, but we need folks at West Georgia Tech who want to get the skills to go out and get those jobs. So let me ask you this question. Since you're an expert in the trucking business, state of Georgia, unbelievable unemployment. The whole country, unbelievable unemployment numbers. Are there truck driving jobs right now, today, available in truck driving?
Absolutely. We have anybody that qualifies, and when I say the qualifiers are, they have to have a reasonable, good driving record. That means no major offenses such as DUI or drug charges in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Preferably none, but sometimes good people make bad decisions. Driving record, no more than 8 points on their driving record, and 8 points is a lot, but 3, 4, 5 points is not going to really hurt you that bad. Then these people can expect a good chance of going to work. I mean, I'll give you examples. I mean, these are real trucking companies: USA Express, Werner Express, Snyder National. These are your bookload carriers: Wiley Sanders, flatbed companies such as CTI, Willie Shaw, McElroy Trucking. These are people that visit our campuses and talk to our people. These are nationwide over-the-road carriers, and that doesn't mean you're going to be gone 3 or 4 or 5 weeks at a time. Atlanta's a major freight hub. These people come back home on a weekly basis, and everybody starts out driving out, and then they come back. For those that are ultra qualified, we call it ultra qualified, that have no personal history, have no driving history. Local jobs such as Fastenal and Fulton Industrial, one of the biggest tool companies in the world. They hire local. These people go to work. They work 60 hours a week. I mean, they're screaming, begging for people to come to work and drive and deliver their stuff. That's local delivery. They're out and back every day. One of the ultra companies is Old Dominion Freightways.
Now, I've heard of Old Dominion. I see those on the road all the time, so I've even heard of Old Dominion.
We are probably the premier technical college that they recruit from for their company, and their recruiting period runs mainly from the spring and into the late fall, because when their freight volume slows up, they slow up their hiring process. But in turn, you can work for most anybody and get some experience and go to them if you qualify. And those are the upper level companies, but we got jobs every day. People call me. I had a guy call me yesterday from Wetumpka, Alabama. Says, look, this is a part-time temporary job, but I'll pay somebody $12 an hour, motel room, and all they can eat to come work for a month over here just to help us get through to drive a water truck on site. And we get those. We got trucking companies in South Georgia that come in. It's everywhere. It's every day. Somebody every week wants to hire truck drivers. And the old legacy of being gone forever is not there anymore.
Yeah.
This is a modern trucking world. These trucks are new. Inside these things is like a small condominium. These trucks are nice.
Yeah.
They have all the amenities in them now. It's $1 million business when you graduate school, and there's a training process after the college.
Right.
Anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks with an additional training instructor, and then they give an individual a set of keys to a truck. It's basically $1 million a year business, and they
Right.
expect this individual to make this business work. So you go from, if you've decided you don't want to work inside a mill, or you decide you don't want to work inside of a plant, and you like open and outdoors and traveling, and you want to be something other than just a regular hourly worker, then you can be the boss. They'll give you the keys, and you are the boss of that truck.
Right.
And it's not age discriminatory. It's not gender discriminatory. We graduate 15-20% female drivers.
Wow. Now, see, I didn't even know that.
And it's
now I've seen women up in the truck driving area, but I didn't realize we had that level of female. And females can do the job.
Absolutely. I taught one yesterday in one of our local restaurants, and she says, "You Mr. Benefield, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You remember me?" And I remembered her. And she says, "I just want to talk with you for a second." She said, "I went to work, and I make about 55 cents a mile." She said, "I'm going to make $80,000 this year."
Wow.
She said, "I would have never, I was in banking, and I never could have made that kind of income."
And she'd have had to have 2 full-time banking jobs.
That's
probably
right.
to
She
make
said,
that.
I could have never done that." She said, and I was the person that you told, and I told her, I said, "You're the one individual I least expected to be in truck driving school."
Yeah.
And she was a success, and she she was a single parent, so her daughter is 14, and her mother watches her while she's gone, but she's only gone every other night.
Right. Wow. That's a great story, and I think that probably epitomizes a lot of our truck drivers. I feel pretty sure that you could go down the list of your graduates and tell the stories of what they were up against and where they were in their lives, and unemployed or underemployed, and needing a real break in life to help them make some money, and boom, here's truck driving.
We do. I mean, it's non-traditional employment, and it's surely not for everybody.
Right.
But for those that really need a job and have some sort of mechanical aptitude, and you don't ever come to school or come to truck driving school being a great truck driver. This is a process. It's definitely a process, and we train people that's never driven straight shift, a manual transmission, straight shift transmissions, never in their life. And in about 8 weeks, the program's 8 weeks now, 7.5 to 8 weeks. It's depending on the weather, because we have real bad inclement weather, we don't drive.
Right.
But about 8 weeks, we take them from no straight shift driving to driving the biggest vehicle in the country.
Right.
And you'll be amazed, the ones that have never driven a manual shift transmission do better than the ones that know how to drive a transmission, because they don't have any bad habits.
Yeah, right. You're not unteaching stuff.
And it's not for everybody, but for someone who doesn't want to go to 2, 4, 6 years of college,
Right.
for someone who doesn't want to work inside.
Right.
Specifically, the reason I got into commercial truck driving to begin with is I didn't take supervision well, and I worked better by myself.
Right.
And I found out over the years maybe that was a personality flaw on my part instead of everybody else's. But
Right.
For folks that don't like to work in confined spaces and don't like and like independence, this is the job.
Right.
I mean, and The average age of a truck driver now, the average age is about 57.
Okay, hang on one second. We've got to take a quick break and pay some bills. We're talking to Ray Benefeld. He's our program chair and long-time truck driver. He's over the truck driving program for the college now. So we've talked a little bit about truck driving, who it's a perfect fit for, and some of the fantastic things associated with being a truck driver. When we come back, we want to get into some specifics of the actual course and kind of let the folks know a little bit about the nuts and bolts of the actual program, and then I guess close up with a little bit of the salary ranges as to what is really out there, and maybe local truck driving, dump trucks and stuff like that. So please stay with us. When we return, we'll be talking more with Ray Benefeld. Welcome back to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, the Provost at West Georgia Tech in LaGrange, and today we're talking to Ray Benefeld, truck driving instructor and program chair over the truck driving stuff, the material, the courses, the personnel, and the trucks, and everything else, all inclusive of truck driving. Give us a little bit of a feel for salary ranges, and also kind of touch a little bit on, I know there's local kind of jobs, dump trucks. In other words, everyone doesn't have to work for Old Dominion is what I'm saying. Or are there plenty of jobs out there in that genre as well?
Well, it runs in cycles. Trucking works like the economy. If the economy's good, then everybody works. Dump trucking is really kind of tied to construction.
Right.
When construction's good, everybody needs a dump truck driver.
Right.
The jobs now traditionally are regional to long haul to ultra long haul. Regional means southeastern states and west. Some go east coast, some of them. And I call these the 3 and 4 out days and back home. Some are out 7 days, and usually that's dependent upon the individual driver. You can request, and it's not always going to be a guarantee, but you can request that you just run in the South. And some companies, some of our premier companies like Rail, for instance, Rail Transport is one of our companies. And they have a 7 on, 7 off program. Working 7 on, 7 off, 5 days on, 5 days off. But it all resorts back to the more you work, the more you make. Now the money, beginning wages start about $40,000 a year. This is
$40,000
a year. That's for 8 weeks training on a day class, and night class runs a little more. It's 10 weeks because we only go 4 evenings a week, because folks that take the evening class normally work a day shift job, and you just don't have so many brain cells that you can use in a week.
Right.
And it's really about 5 hours an evening is all we can get out of them. Right. But 8 weeks day class, 10 weeks at night, $48,000 to start for the 40. Well, it's 40 is the beginning wages. This is training wages. End of the first year, you should be $45,000. Second year should be in the $50,000-$60,000 range. That's about the medium now. It's $55,000-$60,000. And
is that contingent upon how much freight they can haul, or why does it go from 45 to 50 to 60? How does that work?
Well, they get step increases. Most drivers are paid by the mile.
Okay.
They pay them entry level money, starts at 35 cents a mile. And top wages in some companies are 55-60 cents a mile.
Right.
So the more you work, the longer you're there, the more you get paid.
Right.
Now, I'd like to say that we are in the era where the HOPE money and the grant monies and all the monies are slowed down. But all these companies that recruited at our school have tuition reimbursement. Whatever you put in there, whether it be $700, $1,000, $1,500, they will pay this back for you as long as you work.
Wow.
You come to work for them and they make the payments back directly, by the month for you. You don't, if you have a student loan or somebody financed your training,
right,
they make the payments for you right off, and it's not your money, it's their money. They pay it. It's tuition reimbursement paid for by the company. That's where we're at. So not only do you make $40,000 a year the first year, 45 to 60 the second year, you have tuition reimbursement. They pay for the money that you put out of pocket to go to school for you, and all this involves is just working All you got to do is do your job. And there are local jobs for those that qualify, and there are dump truck jobs, not as many now. I mean, that picks up and it's seasonal. You know, in the wintertime it slows down, in the summertime it picks up. The key to it is you gain your experience 6 months, a year, and then you can start branching into different companies that are closer by. When I say closer by, in LaGrange you have 2 or 3 trucking companies. We have students that have gained experience and work for LaGrange warehouse over there. We have students working there.
Okay.
You know, not so much entry level because their operation is such that they require a little more experienced driver, years experience. You know, and but you have Hogan Trucking out of Columbus. They hire students, entry level students.
Okay.
So, you know, the jobs are there, the entry level money is there, the tuition reimbursement's there. I mean, the industry's there. There's always going to be truck driving jobs. You know, truck drivers are old now. I'm you know, typical average age truck driver now, maybe about a little older than average, but we're going to retire at some point. And the newer truck drivers to come in there, the younger truck drivers, this is their industry. It's wide open. This is like, you know,
Wild West days.
Wild West out there. I mean, you know, and government regulations are such now with the Patriot Act and all the rules and regulations the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has enacted since 9/11 with hazardous materials and such as that. New truck drivers, it's an open book. I mean, this is just an open book for folks that want a job. I mean, if you want a job and you can be away from home 3 or 4 days, you can go to work.
And make very
good
money. Are there different state laws or federal regulations pertaining to truck driving, or is it pretty much the same from every state? Sometimes when I'm on the road, you see the little truck area where they got to go in, I guess, weigh and all that kind of stuff. Is there a lot of paperwork involved with truck driving?
Well, not so much. We are required to keep a logbook, and now they've even taken that out and made them electronic in the trucks. You just punch a button instead of sitting down with a ruler and figuring your day, your log times and your stops and starts. You put your button when you start, you push a button when you stop, and it calculates it for you automatically.
Are there any laws that regulate how long a driver must sleep in a 24-hour period, anything like that?
Yes, sir. You can only drive 11 hours without having a break, and you can only work 14 hours in a day. That's when I say working 14 hours, it's 11 hours driving time and three hours doing other stuff, such as fueling your truck, loading, unloading, and after that you're required to take a 10-hour break. And so the week goes very fast. I mean, this is this thing, and it's not, you're not going to work a 9-to-5 job. That's not going to happen. You may drive at night, sleep in the day some days. Some days you'll sleep in the day, sleep at night and drive in the day. But it's a lifestyle change.
Right.
It is actually a lifestyle change, and everybody starts out doing the semi or doing the over-road driving, and then they work back to local delivery and home time jobs and jobs such as Milliken. You know, Milliken would be an example. All these old timers out there, and there are some old timers, these guys that work out there at Milliken have been there 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
And they worked into those jobs, but all those guys are not home every night.
Right.
When they go out and deliver this carpet to other places, sometimes they're gone overnight too. So, you know, it's just madness in the work. That's what it is. You know, it's part of the job's being gone a little.
You've been in this business your entire life. Tell our audience out there a couple of reasons why they ought to seriously think about being a truck driver.
Stability. There's always truck driving jobs. You can find a job pretty much anywhere in the country.
That's a good point. So if you just don't love Georgia, you can take off and go.
You know, you can always find a job. You're going to be able to make a living. The job stability is there. The room for advancement, you can go from being a company truck driver. If you want to be your own driver, you can be an owner operator. You can, you know, I've done that. And as a matter of fact, I was in and out owner operating twice. And it's just according to each individual station. But the main selling point is the stability in the work.
Right.
You know, everything goes up, everything goes down, but we have to eat.
Right.
And everything we touch and use goes by truck.
Amen. This morning we've been talking to Ray Benefield. He's our truck driving instructor and program chair for the truck driving program here at West Georgia Technical College. We appreciate everything Ray does, and as he's already said, if you are looking for a job, currently unemployed, underemployed, and you're looking for a dynamite way to get in the job market quickly, we can train you in 8 weeks, and there are numerous plentiful jobs out there in the market. So think about truck driving at West Georgia Technical College. You've been watching Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, Provost at West Georgia Tech, and we'll see you next time.